G'day guys, it's Jim and today we are going to learn how to do a manual DPS rotation for ranged. Now, I don't know about magic, I don't know about melee, but yesterday we did a manual rotation for ranged and you guys asked for the video telling you how I did that tutorial of how I do my rotation. Now, I'm a complete idiot. I think you guys all know that. And if I can learn to do this, you guys can definitely do that. That's your motivational speaking right there. Now, what have I concocted? I have come up with the 3 rotations for manual that just loop on each other again and again and again. That is the super swiftness rotation, the build rotation, and the normal swiftness rotation. If you can master these 3 rotations, you can do full manual again and again and again like I did. Now, the rotation we came up with is not optimal. It's not the best rotation there is out there, but what it is a rotation that everything comes off cooldown right at the right time. You're not switching weapons or anything like that. All you are doing is just manually pressing buttons in an order that works. That being said, it upped my DPM by 100k over using Revo. To do this rotation, you're going to need 3 abilities that you need to unlock. So the first 2 come for a quest and the last one you've got to buy. So the first one is Death Swiftness. Now you unlock this from the World Wakes quest. It takes about an hour to do and basically it does have one little tricky part, which is you just need to kill the God Walls 1. After that, the next ability is Tendrils. So Tendrils is an ability that you unlock from the Dig Site quest. Another easy quest actually. This one's pretty straightforward and it is one of the best abilities in ranged. And the third one is the Mazcab Codex, which has the Corruption Shot ability. Now this will set you back probably around 40 mil, otherwise you might get lucky at raids and get one yourself, but with those 3 abilities we can start. In terms of equipment, don't bring anything expensive, just bring rune crossbows and runite arrows. We're not trying to break the bank, it's just about learning. You got to learn how to press the buttons before you can then up it into doing real damage, and you don't want to waste money. Now, for this particular rotation, because we're going off my gear, I need you guys to get Planted Feet, which is an invention perk, and what that does is it extends the duration of Death Swiftness. We need a Ring of Vigor. You can get one of those from the Dungeoneering reward store just for some Dungeoneering tokens. If you don't have any tokens, you can do some ED3, you can do some Dungeoneering, get that real quick, it doesn't take too long. What that ring does is it saves 10% adrenaline when you use one of the big abilities. And then we need super adrenaline potions. So my rotation is based on super adrenaline potions. I tried it with normal ones and it doesn't work as well. Everything comes off cooldowns at weird times. It has to be the super adrenaline potions and you do need a certain herb lore level to do that. However, if you don't have all of that, don't worry. I still want you guys to practice just using this rotation with whatever you have. If you're not having all of the gear, just still try and get used to pressing the buttons as if you did. So just practice doing what I will teach you later as the 1, 2, 3. The 1, 2, 3. We'll get into that later, but if you guys don't have any of this gear, you can still do that at least. Let's jump over to learning manual. Okay guys, so the secret to my rotation is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're only going to focus on the Death Swiftness rotation. So when Death Swiftness starts and when Death Swiftness ends, our goal is to hit 5 thresholds in that period of time. So we want 2 snapshots, 2 rapid fires, and a tendril. That gives us 5, okay? That's our goal. And to get there, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What's 1, 2, 3? So 1, 2, 3 is basic, needle, threshold. Basic, needle, threshold. Keep that in your mind. So when you're pressing the buttons, basic, needle, threshold. Basic, needle, threshold. Just get that in your head. That's what I use. So let's go down and get our 100% adrenaline, and then we'll start our rotation. Now, the only exception to that rule is the very first ability, which is obviously Death Swiftness, but that counts as our basic. So count that as a basic. I know it's an ultimate, just put in your head that it's a basic. So we start off with our rotation for swiftness. So we do our Death Swiftness rotation. So basic, needle, threshold. See how rapid fire now hits? And now after rapid fire, those 5 seconds, basic, corruption shot, needle strike, snapshot, which is a threshold. Basic, needle, threshold. Now we're going to use ricochet, into needle, into tendrils. Basic, needle, threshold. Now we're going to use snipe. So snipe has a nice cooldown of 3 seconds, but it's still a basic. So basic, needle, rapid fire is now off cooldown, which is really, really cool, right? So now we're going to go back to the start. Basic, corruption shot, needle strike, snapshot. Now, I did that really slow. I did that really slow to obviously show you guys. What you really want to do is you want to get that off as fast as possible. Don't cancel snipe too early or anything. It should be that you can fit that extra snapshot right at the end with like 2 seconds to go on Death Swiftness. You'll get that last hit in. And that is your Death Swiftness rotation. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Basic needle threshold. Basic needle threshold. That's all you have to remember. It's not as hard as it seems, right?
Wow.
If you break things down into almost like a little song, it becomes easier. All you need is your crossbows, you need your planted feet switch, your ring of vigor, and obviously your super adrenaline potion and the ring switch. So a luck of the wolves, a berserker ring, or a ring of death. Okay, let's get ourselves 100% and we'll do it at real time. Now I'm just going to call them out. I'm not going to call the abilities, but I'll call out what's happening. Here we go. So we're about to start. So swiftness rotation, which is our basic. Then we're going to go needle, threshold. So we're waiting for this to go off. Here we go. Basic, needle, threshold. Beautiful. Basic, needle, threshold. Basic, needle, threshold. Waiting for it to go off. Basic, needle, threshold. And there you go. So with 5 seconds left, we finished our rotation there. Basic, needle, threshold, basic, needle, threshold, basic, needle, threshold. It's pretty simple, right? You're not going to pick it up straight away. I definitely didn't pick it up straight away. But by using that little song in my head, it made it a lot easier. Now, in terms of my keybinds, because I know a lot of you guys are going to ask, don't worry about my keybinds. They're very different than most other players because I have my full DPS rotation on my mouse using obviously the hotkeys that are on there. But if you guys don't have an MMO gaming mouse, what I suggest is have all of your basics on 1 through 7. Underneath that, have your damage rotation along QWERTY. Use F1, F2, and F3 for your thresholds. That way it makes it nice and easy and your hand is resting in that one spot. Trust me, if an idiot like me can get used to keybinds, anyone can. I suggest just practicing this rotation over and over again until you can get this one down packed. Once you feel comfortable with this, let's move to the next rotation. Immediately after you finish that last snapshot, you want to start building towards another rapid fire. The reason why we do this is because Death Swiftness has a pretty long cooldown, which gives us enough time to get another threshold off in between. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a 1, 2, 3 method for this one, but the abilities go in this order to get to that threshold. Corruption Shot, Snipe, Needle Strike, Ricochet, Fragmentation Shot, Needle Strike, and Rapid Fire. Once that Rapid Fire goes off, you just let it go through its paces, and then we need to build to the next Death Swiftness. Corruption Shot, Needle Strike, Ricochet, and Snipe will get you to that swiftness. Now we're going to do this live to show you guys. So Corruption Shot into Snipe, then we're going to go into Needle Strike followed by Ricochet, then Fragmentation Shot into another Needle Strike, which will finish off with our Rapid Fire. That way we get our threshold off while we're waiting for our Death Swiftness. Now that this has finished, we're going to go into Corruption Shot, Needle Strike, Ricochet, Snipe, and then as you can see, there's 3 seconds on cooldown. Snipe takes 3 seconds. Death Swiftness is ready to rock and roll. However, this time our adrenaline potion is still on cooldown, which means that we need to build up to 50% to use our thresholds ourselves. To get that adrenaline that we need, we use Needle Strike, Ricochet, Corruption Shot, and Snipe. This puts us at the beginning of the original 1, 2, 3 rotation. Look, I know that's a lot to take in. There's so much in that stuff, and I know I titled this video Manual for Idiots, and trust me, I was an idiot too, but this is how I learned. You need to break this up, guys. Don't do this all at once. You will overload yourself. Break it into sections. So you've got the first part, which is the Death Swiftness rotation. Nail that. Make it muscle memory. Then do the build section. As I said, the basic abilities in that build section, they're not that important to get right, as long as you can get your threshold off and be ready when swiftness comes off cooldown. That's all you need to worry about for the build section. In the third section, where you have your second swiftness, you do not have your super adrenaline potion on you. So you need to do a little bit more basics to get back to that starting point. Nail section 1, the first DPS. Learn the build. Put the first section and the second section together. Then learn the third section. Learn how to build your own adrenaline in a Death Swiftness without using your adrenaline potion. What you're trying to do is get to around 44% adrenaline. Then you use your Needle Strike, and it's exactly the same as if you had your adrenaline potion. Basic, needle, threshold, basic, needle, threshold. But you have to get to at least 40% adrenaline before you can do that. Pause this video, restart this video as many times as you need to. This is not a race. This is a marathon. It will take time. So let's just recap what we've covered. First, we have the swiftness rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Your goal in that is for 5 thresholds. Then we have the build section. Your goal for this is to get 1 threshold and then build to your def swiftness ready for cooldown. Then as soon as you activate the second swiftness, do 4 basic attacks and then go back to the original way of doing it. So 4 basic attacks and then needle strike, rapid fire. Basic, needle, threshold from then on out, and that is tying it together. After the second swiftness, you can guess what happens next. You go back to the build and then you do the build again. Go up to a threshold, get ready for swiftness to come off cooldown, but now you can use your adrenaline potion and you're back to the first swiftness rotation. So this all links together. You see? To make it even easier to understand, the first swiftness rotation, call it the super swiftness, because you know that you've got your super adrenaline potion. So super swiftness, build, normal swiftness, build, super swiftness, build, normal swiftness. And it just goes around and around and around, and it's kind of fun because it never ends. Everything always links together. It's kind of cool. And there we go, guys. That is my manual DPS rotation that I was using on stream yesterday. Is it the best? No. Does it work and keeps continuously looping? Yes, and that is what I wanted from my manual rotation, is for it to loop again and again. It upped my damage by 100k, which is more than I could ask for, which is pretty insane. I've never been one to care about that stuff, but to see that improvement just by switching to manual is pretty damn cool. So what are you guys waiting for? Get down to the combat dummies, start smashing them around. If you're new around here, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for more. Damn, that was almost so smooth. Make sure you subscribe for some more content. My name is Jim and I'll freaking see you later.